Welcome to our Dev Diaries. I'm Joel Wade, senior producer of the Godfather 2, the game. We're at EA Redwood Shore Studios to show you some of the people and personalities involved in making the game. In our first Dev Diary, we're going to talk to Hunter Smith, who's going to give us a brief overview and concept. Let's go.
So when we finished Godfather 1, we spent a lot of time thinking about what do we do well, what do we need to improve. We did a lot of research, talked to a lot of customers, read all the reviews, read all the blogs, really tried to understand what about this property is going to make a difference. What really stands out? You know, we know we're in the open world action genre, but there's something about being in the mob, being in the world of organized crime that's really unique, and we wanted to focus on that. We looked at those films and we sat and we thought about, man, there's this 3-hour film, and in that time there's about 10 minutes of action and a lot of chin scratching, a lot of thinking about how does this family work against that other family, how does this competition set up. And we thought about how do we bring that into a game. There's lots of disorganized crime going on in all the other open world games, but none of them are organized. None of them have this layer where you get to sit back and think like a Don, make decisions about your family, what you're going to do and how you're going to be successful. And that's what we really think we're bringing to the table to make Godfather 2 stand out from the crowd in the open world genre. So when we thought about this Don experience and how we're going to bring these strategic elements to the game, the best thing to do was to make a card game. So we made a card game with sort of our rule sets to try to keep them as simple and as focused as possible so it's easy to understand. And different people played as each one of the families, just like the families will be playing in the game. And the designer's job was to sit there and sort of predict what people were going to do. But also watch people, see how they react. Because they don't necessarily make logical decisions. If they're going down the path trying to take up this racket to own this organized crime ring, and you take it away from them, they act emotionally. We wanted to figure out how those emotional actions we can program them into our AI. So they felt as real as possible when you were playing the game. So one of the cool things about Godfather 2 is it's moved up in time into the 60s, and that became a real opportunity for us. The music's cool, the clothing's cool, the cars are cool, the locations become more interesting, and so it's really fun for us to kind of research inside of that space. But what was also really cool about that time was there's a lot of history, and there's actually some declassified information in the last couple of years about what was going on with Castro and Cuba and the Cuban Revolution and the mob and the CIA, and that's some intrigue we were able to bring inside and deepen our story in Godfather 2. So when we pull all these pieces together, the thing that really drives us and drives players into a game is, what's the fantasy I'm after? We're in the world of organized crime. We got a great action experience with our Black Hand, and we really doubled down on that. But the next layer we brought was really to be the Don, to think intelligently, to make choices about your family, to send your crew in different directions, to have the whole Don view experience we're bringing to the game. The way we summarize all that up, if you want to be successful in Godfather 2, you got to act like a mobster, but you got to think like a Don.
Hope you're as excited about the game as we are. Make sure to check back frequently for future blogs. Also, make sure to check out Game Shares TV on August 15th, where they have an exclusive deep dive into the game and our first released gameplay footage.